God, past 1 o'clock in the morning, and I had this little idea to record a video with me talking about why I will never ever become a normal person. And honestly, though, it's not for like a resistance of like society, like, I don't know, the whole Joker meme just going, oh, we live in a society. Remember that meme? Oh, the catalyst of that meme, seeing that meme on Facebook with like, I think it was like Heath Ledger's Joker, and then it just went on to like the most recent Joker movie, not including Joker 2. That one is mad. Yeah, it's mad. Not great, but not exactly horrible, just, I don't know, meh. But I guess the reason why I say like I will never ever become a normal person is my own recognition of the fact that I am a high functioning insane person. And when I say that in the sense of like becoming more self-aware about the fact that I have major mental problems due to a whole lot of things. A couple of like neurodevelopmental disorders like ASD, ADHD, and of course PTSD from abuse trauma of all kinds. And well, I think the way I've coped with it is developing more of a outspoken, pretty much an unapologetic personality that just really makes people question what the fuck is this person doing? Why is this person so weird, crazy, insane, warped, so sick in the head, so fucked up like that? And well, I this is just who I am. And I guess I'll be open about, my childhood and everything. I grew up in a crazy, extremely far right political sovereign citizen, extremely Roman Catholic family. And when I say Roman Catholic, I'm not talking about like the general like expectations of Catholicism. I'm talking about like Mel Gibson, pre Second Vatican Catholicism, which means going against like, I don't know, turning facing the people when you're giving the sermon or liturgy or something, speaking in general languages instead of Latin or something. And that also includes like going against ecumenicalism, including other religions. And I don't know, it's just a whole lot of like really deep, insane political shit that honestly led me to also be developing my own political views that are pretty much on the opposite ends of the spectrum. And also facing a whole lot of like this weird like conspiracy theory, sovereign citizen sort of bullshit that has really been infecting my mind, but not in like, I don't know, I'm steering towards it, but definitely steering more in a transformative sort of way that is completely the opposite intention of the sovereign citizen movement. Because the sovereign citizen movement is just pretty much a loophole, pulling like mental gymnastics in order to get out of like, I don't know, driving a car without a license, getting a bank account without a social security card or something. And when I look at that shit, I'm just thinking, oh my god, this was my normal. This complete and total like extreme insane bullshit of this sovereign citizen, extremely Roman Catholic, and extremely just stupid bullshit that my dad has put me through. That was my normal. That was my fucking normal. And when I started to have like more of a social life, when I started to get out more and everything, I realized that wow, the majority of people are actually more decent, calm people. And also, I grew up in a pretty abusive environment with my dad beating the shit out of my mom and my little brother and sister and I. To give context, my little brother and sister have severe neurodevelopmental disabilities, i.e., my little brother has like severe high support needs autism spectrum disorder, and my little sister has a mixture of like Down syndrome and also high support needs autism spectrum disorder. And I would see my dad just beating them. He would also beat my mom. He would beat me. And God, I remember being a teenager just beating the shit out of my dad. God, all the black eyes I would give him every single time. He would just try to beat the shit out of my mom. And of course, him just wearing makeup in order to cover up the bruises, just like how my mom would just cover up like her bruises on her face every single time that my dad would beat her. And I would just be like, yeah, that's what you fucking get, you piece of shit. That man is not a part of my life anymore. I don't know about you, but once you're socially isolated from the rest of the world, mixed in with having a couple of neurodevelopmental disorders and everything like that, that has really like just made you think about what is considered like the norm for everybody. Like being normal is entirely subjective because everybody has a different form of a norm. Like my norm was extreme violence and of course extreme just unnecessarily authoritarian just far right bullshit that I had to endure for the first like 16 years of my life. Mind you, I was also a witness in courts with my mom almost being murdered. I remember my dad kicking the shit out of my mom to the point where my mom had internally bleeding kidneys. Thankfully, they did some work on them, but at the same time, my God, ugh, she would just piss blood, and she also had like severe throat issues due to my dad just choking her, and she also had back pain from all the abuse that she had to endure and everything. So much abuse to her body that, of course, around the time when I was in my senior year of high school, she got lupus, sciatica, scleroderma, any sort of autoimmune disorder, and a whole list of ailments that I just had a list of in paper form. God, just, I don't know. And honestly, though, this sort of life of just, witnessing your own mom being beaten the shit out of, and then after that, your mom getting sick and having to take care of her, that's not a normal thing. That's not what any sort of person should have to go through. I mean, your expectation for like any sort of family is like, oh, you got your parents, they're raising their kids, they're trying to help them like guide themselves through the world, try to develop them, try to make sure that they thrive on the world. But I never really had any sort of emotional, mental, or physical stability because everyone in my family has been traumatized. They dealt with any sort of like mental, neurodevelopmental, physical disability, something that really hindered their need for like need for supposed functionality. And I was the only functional one of my family, despite the fact that I also had like my own struggles with mental health and of course my own neurodevelopmental disorders and like that. Fucking eyebrows, Jesus. No, but when I talk about this, some people just can't comprehend living a life like that. And frankly, once I realized that it was just not a normal thing, it's like, yeah, it's not a normal thing, but it's something that I've really gotten used to. And I don't know about like how to really describe or how to make a person really experience that sort of thing. I mean, I know that there is a whole lot of people out there that do experience the same thing as me. And honestly, though, I do connect with those people well better than, I don't know, the average day, every single person who thinks that, like anybody can just thrive in this society. And like, everyone has a chance to thrive, but not everyone can thrive in the same way because every single person has a different way of seeing the world. Every single person has a different way of just experiencing life. Everybody has their own personal experiences, whether it be positive, negative, and also every single person has a certain way of just evaluating what they happen to see. And that's what not many people happen to do. Like, they don't take into consideration how other people view the world. They don't take into consideration how people live through certain experiences and how they sort of like shape their development. And it's not in like similar cases always. How a person's lived experiences, though similar, they can be brought up in different cases due to maybe some of the factors, like their different learning style, maybe their different like perspective, maybe a different mentality or something. Maybe it's like a neurodevelopmental or personality disorder. And that made me think, wow, I am definitely not a normal fucking person. I'm not. I mean, I'm functional in the sense that I pay my bills, I have a social life, I get out there, I date and everything, but me being a standard, everyday, normal person, it's not gonna happen for me. I'm not gonna be a standard, everyday, normal person when it comes down to my own mentality and everything. I get by. I pay my bills. I pay my taxes. I do happen to visit my family every single so often. I put myself out there. And, well, I do try to have, like, an extensive, like, pretty all over social life and just meet people of all kinds of walks of life. And that really has brought me to the conclusion that everybody has their own story to tell. Everybody's different. There's no like one set of person that's really going to like have the exact same story as another person. But we do have our similar stories, we do have different stories, and we do have our certain ways of evaluating the world. And that has made me realize that the world is too small for me to suddenly just give up and close it off. And I guess what makes me not normal is the fact that I've learned to embrace the fact that I'm weird. I'm insane. I like, like experimental stuff, not just like regular day old death metal, like I'm wearing an implication shirt, great like death metal band from Texas. But also I like jazz, I like a whole lot of hip hop, I like, let's see here, classical, avant-garde, I like some pop here and there, some electronic stuff. And honestly though, music, having a wide range of music is a major part of my personality. Another part is I do happen to like, comedy. I do happen to like, let's see here, woodworking, cooking. I like playing guitar, as you can see over there. I do have this Xtura Epiphone Prophecy that I just got not too long ago for actually like 425 bucks. A guitar like this is like worth like 900 bucks to 1,000 bucks. But I actually got it for like 425 because of cosmetic reasons. And the look of it, like a few scratches here and there, and I'm just like, I'll take it. Looks pretty good to me. But I guess this is part of me trying to like learn to accept myself and learn to love myself more and more, because I realized that I never really developed in the same way as like any other kid who lived in a pretty like, safe environment. Well, a safe environment for the average like kid out there. I was always in survival mode. I've always had to like be on guard. I've always had to look out for people. I would constantly look around. Like I'm talking like I would look there, because I am always on guard. I am always on the offense. And of course on the defense as usual, but at the same time, it's how I actually keep myself protected. It's how I protect myself when it comes down to being open with someone. And of course, I am pretty open about what I've been through. I mean, hey, why do you think I'm recording this video? But at the same time, I'm also guarded and I'm also skeptical when I first meet people because, people don't exactly like present themselves truthfully. Some people do wear a mask. I mean, I totally get it. Some people do wear a mask because, well, it's for like social survivalism. Because we as human beings, we're social animals. We do everything. Like, for example, try to be all wishy-washy, say some half-truths, mask who we truly are because, well, we want to get along. We want to be able to find a group and we want to be able to just get along with people. Go along to get along because, if we don't, then how do we survive as a species of Homo sapiens, as human beings? And when I think about that, some people, they like to pretend that they're real, to be like, oh, I hate fake people, and oh, I hate, these people who lie about themselves. But at the same time, I actually do empathize with people who do generally just fake who they are because, well, one, they're insecure about who they are as a person, and number two, they also do it because if they don't fake it, if they don't mask anything that they happen to be, well, that just means that they're going to be lonely, and being lonely is, in a certain way, a death sentence. And when I learned about that, it just made me like understand human beings more. I'm sounding like a fucking alien. I understand human beings, yeah, but no, honestly, this is part of being autistic. And when I talk about this, it just makes me like understand social situations on a really deeper level, like a really, really deeper level about how people happen to generally like understand social situations, and also how people socially interact, and how people just be with each other. And yeah, that sort of revelation just made me think about my social interactions with each and every single person because, I don't treat people in the same way socially. Like, yeah, everybody's equal, in the sense that everybody is human. But at the same time, people do have a different way of communication needs. you can communicate one way with one person, and you can communicate another way with another person. And that has to do with like how they see the world and how they actually just evaluate the world around them and how they understand certain concepts. My God, I cannot get my mouth to say words without stuttering. Jesus. But yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is, well, since I've learned to accept the fact that I'm not a normal person, I'm just like, yeah, I guess that's just part of me. I'm Anton. You have a good night.